You know, there's a film out there so visionary that nearly 100 years after it came out, we are still catching up to it. We're talking about Fritz Lang's 1927 silent masterpiece, Metropolis.
Now, I know that sounds like a bold claim, but it is absolutely true. This one film, from the height of the silent era, literally laid the foundation for pretty much every single science fiction epic you've ever loved. It's the blueprint. It's the source code for how we imagine the future.
So that's the big question, right? How on earth did a silent film from 1927 manage to write the rulebook for our vision of the future? Well, that's what we're going to dig into. We're going to break down its look, its themes, and its most famous creation to see how it all became the bedrock of modern sci-fi. Okay, to really get Metropolis, we got to jump in a time machine. The year is 1927. The world is buzzing with new industrial power, but there's also this deep anxiety simmering just below the surface. And right in the middle of all that tension, in Germany, a director decided to put all those fears right up on the big screen. And that director's name was Fritz Lang. What he created was this vision so powerful, so visually stunning, that it didn't just add to the sci-fi genre. No way. In a lot of ways, it basically invented the cinematic language for it. So let's start with the film's look, which was totally groundbreaking. Metropolis gave us the very first, and you could argue the most influential image of what a futuristic city looks like. Lang was right in the thick of this major artistic movement of his time, German Expressionism. He took its whole vibe, you know, the twisted shapes, the dramatic shadows, that whole psychological feel, and he applied it to the future. What he got was a world that felt both amazing and, honestly, kind of terrifying. And this is where it gets genius. Lang uses the actual architecture to tell his story. He gives us this vertical city. Way up top, you've got the thinkers, the rich elite, living in this sky-high paradise. But deep, deep underground, that's the workers' city, this brutalist hellscape where their backbreaking labor powers everything above. It's class warfare made visible. So you're probably wondering, how did he pull off this incredible scale without any CGI? Well, with a ridiculously clever camera trick called the Schuften process. By using mirrors in a very specific way, he could make tiny, detailed models look like massive, sprawling cities with real actors walking around inside them. I'm telling you, every huge sci-fi city you've seen since, from Blade Runner to Star Wars, owes a huge debt to this wild 1920s trick. But look, Metropolis wasn't just about cool visuals. The film basically laid out all the core anxieties that have been driving science fiction ever since. I mean, think about it. The fear of technology getting out of control, the worry about losing our own humanity to machines, the brutal reality of class conflict. These are the ideas that power stories like The Terminator or Ex Machina. And yep, Metropolis got there first. And this right here captures the film's most iconic creation, the machine mensch, the machine human. This transformation scene is the granddaddy of every single robot coming to life scene you have ever watched. You've got the human double, the crazy activation, all that crackling electricity and glowing rings. This is it. This is the moment the cinematic robot was born. And the influence is just undeniable. I mean, just take a look at C-3PO from Star Wars. George Lucas has been totally open about the fact that C-3PO's design is a direct homage, a visual tribute to the robot from Metropolis. That's a straight line of inspiration that stretches across 50 years of movies. Now, the story of Metropolis doesn't just stop when the credits roll. The real-life history of the film itself is its own drama, a story of being lost, chopped to pieces by studios, and then, miraculously, found again. So, right after it premiered, the movie got hit with heavy censorship. It was seen as too long, too radical. And for the next 80 years, the full movie was basically considered lost forever. Then, in 2008, get this, a nearly complete negative turns up in an archive in Buenos Aires, of all places. It was an incredible find. And because of it, we now have this spectacular restoration that's about as close as we'll ever get to seeing Fritz Lang's original full vision. So, after this whole journey of being lost and found, what's the film's lasting impact? Well, to put it lightly, it is absolutely massive, and it goes way beyond just science fiction. Its DNA is just everywhere in pop culture. You can see it in the slick, neon-soaked streets of Blade Runner. You feel it in the dark, gothic spires of Batman's Gotham City. You can even hear its echoes in famous music videos from artists like Queen and Madonna, who straight up borrowed its look.
Fritz Lang's dark vision basically cemented the whole idea of a dystopia in our minds.
So what's the whole point? Well, the film's big solution to this huge conflict between the thinkers, the head, and the workers, the hands, was that the heart had to be the mediator. It's this powerful message about empathy. And yeah, it might sound a little idealistic to us now, but it's really the core of what the film is trying to warn us about.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought. As we're all trying to navigate a world with artificial intelligence, with gigantic skyscrapers, and with massive social divides, it's really worth asking, what parts of our own future did this silent film from 1927 actually see first? And the scary answer might just be almost all of it.